Look, our border is a mess. Inflation is still very, very high, even though the president chooses not to acknowledge it. We had a Chinese balloon in our airspace, for crying out loud. We're not respected around the globe. Our economy is shaky at best. What good is actually happening? Unemployment is is down. But one of the reasons for that is there's a lot of people who are not looking for work.
It's a disaster on every front. It is the border, it is crime, it is foreign policy, it is the potential for terrorism, it is economics. We're at 40-year highs on inflation, and we will hear nothing but spin tonight coming from the president in his State of the Union. If he talks about his accomplishments and the effectiveness, it will be a very, very short speech. It will take all night if he wants to talk about the disasters.
Listen, his massive 1.9 spending rescue plan kick-started an inflation crisis in our country we have not seen in 40 years. He did that. The Inflation Reduction Act, give me a break, that was the Green New Deal's little sister dressed up as trying to do something. And then the omnibus spending bill, 2 days before Christmas, complete reckless spending. Now he wants to talk about the debt ceiling that, we need to come to the table with a plan. Where's the president? Where's his plan? Where's his budget, mind you? It was due yesterday. We don't have it. So look, there's a lot of issues. I don't know why he keeps taking these victory laps. They don't make sense. But if you look at his polling numbers, the American people, they see through it too.
We need to show leadership we need to show leadership in the eyes of the international community, and we need to take care of our economy. And that is so simple to do, and it's just not being done. And specifically the border. What country on earth that respects itself opens its border to say, yeah, come in, Mr. Fentanyl. Yes, come in, Mr. Child Sex Trafficker. Sure, come in. And then at the end, you're going to come in and we will never see you again. That can't happen. And I'm speaking from the Hispanic point of view. I represent the largest minority in the country, the Hispanics, the Latinos, and we say no open border. But the White House is not just listening to us.
I would love for him to say, you know what, I got it wrong. Let's reverse course and let's work with everybody to find better solutions. That would be great, actually. It would be good for him. It would be great for the country. I just don't expect that. We've gotten into this place in politics where no matter how bad it's going, you can't actually say, oops, this didn't work out. Let's do something different. And who really suffers are working class Americans, poor Americans, young kids. They're the ones who suffer. The president, he gonna be all right. I'm gonna be all right. But if something's not working, let's get it right. Let's just do what works.
We want to be energy independent. We do not want to pay high interest rates. We want to have a secured border. We do not like the crimes in our cities. We don't want a high interest rates. Because if we have a tiny little small business with 3 employees, we want to make sure that those employees show up to work and that we're not competing with the United States government that is sending them a check. I mean, easy. It's simple, right? It's simple, but it just doesn't happen.
Look at what's happened since he's taken office. Look at the slowdown in the economy. Look at inflation. Try buying eggs. Try buying gas. The crisis at the border. To have a border that was secure under President Trump, to have already paid the contractors and not completing the wall, making it wide open, the deaths that have occurred with fentanyl, the crime that's coming in this country, both from the Mexican cartels and just in the streets. His liberal policies have failed, and this country's in a downward spiral. It couldn't come quick enough to change courses. Do I think President Biden can do it? No. This is all intentional, and his words tonight will have no meaning to me.
Well, we don't know where the economy's heading. We don't know where inflation's heading. We don't know where our national security is heading. I think this is what are on people's minds, and that's why when you poll and you ask them, they are convinced that America is not heading in the right direction.
With the invasion at the border, what are you going to do? You got to have a designated point of entry. With the gasoline, why is the Venezuelan oil better than American oil? Why did you open up the Nord Stream pipeline for Russia and cut the Keystone pipeline? Crime in the streets. Why are the judges that he's appointing not constitutionalists? They're judges that are the radical left. Concrete proposals. Now, I expect tonight it'll be more divisive speech. It'll be how America is bad. It'll be how he's done such a good job. And name me one thing he's done well, I can't name it.
I'm not sure Joe Biden's going to be able to say anything that comforts the American people. They've put up with inflation now for 2 years. Well, the president has completely dismissed it. They've watched the horrendous withdrawal from Afghanistan, followed by, what is a questionable involvement in getting the Ukraine-Russia war worked out right, and now culminating in a Chinese, probably almost certainly a spy weather balloon. They call it weather balloon, a spy balloon drifting across the United States. What they see with their own eyes, I don't think the president can reverse in this speech tonight.
What are we doing about inflation, right? We're not here to talk about what are we doing about the inflation? How am I going to heat my home? How am I going to stop dipping into my savings to pay my bills? That's what they want to hear about. Let's give the American people what they want to hear. I don't think we'll do that, but I'm hopeful.
All you got to do is look back a few days ago, and we had a balloon traveling across this country that could have been shot down before it ever came across the Pacific Ocean. But yet we let that go. It's just another example of how this administration has just capitulated to everything that China has been trying to do to us.
But we have serious challenges, and the American people wanted the House Republican majority to serve as a check and balance. And that is what we are going to do. And the White House needs to recognize that one-party rule is no longer in effect here in Washington, and they need to work with us to address the challenges facing the American people, from inflation and the cost of living to our porous southern border and the massive inflow of illegal immigration and fentanyl pouring into our country, to the crisis in Ukraine and the challenges we're facing with China, which are significant.
People always tell me, Mike, I don't even have an application laying on my desk right now. But 4 years ago, we had tons of them, tons of people wanting to work. What's going on? Well, what's going on is you have a Biden administration that has gone from an America First agenda to an America Last agenda, gone on a spending spree like you've never seen. And then on top of it, we went from energy independence to an energy dependence. So that inflation and fuel prices are sky high, and people see that. They actually feel it to the tune, I think now their buying power this year is about $7,400 less in income from what it was just 4 years ago.
Well, we've got spending problems, border problems, problems with China, the Chinese Communist Party. I really hope the president lays out a clear plan to work with Republicans to address those areas. If he doesn't, it will be a huge missed opportunity. I mean, the reality is that we have fentanyl and meth destroying our communities. Crime is on the rise in our cities. The president needs to work with Republicans to shut the border.